Kia ora koutou, ko Angela Caves toko ingoa, no mai haere mai. My name's Angela Caves and I am the Digital Events Manager with Digital Boost. Welcome to the Business Growth and Support Virtual Conference for the West Coast, Nelson, Tasman and Marlborough regions of the South Island. This is session 4 on our third and final day of the conference. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to join us in this webinar, and thank you to those who are joining us via a live stream. A warm welcome to you all. We are live streaming to Facebook, LinkedIn and YouTube this afternoon. All sessions of the conference are being recorded and will be uploaded to a YouTube playlist. This playlist will be distributed to all registered attendees, and that will be available for post-conference viewing. I'd like to introduce Anne from Connected. Anne is our collaborating partner, and Anne's just going to run through how the webinar will work and introduce our presenting guest from Business.gov. Now, I will just make a quick mention that Mason, who is joining us from Business.gov, won't have a camera on. He has graciously decided to join us even though he is unwell with COVID this afternoon. So thank you, a special thank you, Mason, for making the effort. And I'll hand over to you now. Thank you so much.
Kia ora koutou.
Kia ora tātou. Oh, sorry.
Oh. Kia ora koutou. Welcome to Digital Boost business session this afternoon. Thanks again for your time. Ko Ginti toko ingoa. I'm an employment liaison advisor for the West Coast Top of the South Connected Service. And this afternoon we have a session with Business.gov. They come under Ministry of Business, Innovation and Employment. For any questions, please use the chat function and we will enter into a Q&A at the end of the presentation. I would now like to hand over to our product advisor, Mason Rutine. Welcome, Mason.
Yeah, kia ora tātou. My name is Mason Rutine and I'm coming to you today from Business.gov. We're the government's website for small businesses in New Zealand. So we bring information and advice from across government and private sector into one place to help small businesses achieve what they've set out to do. Snapshotting and packaging all this into tools and resources that actually make sense for small businesses is our main goal. So Biz.gov translates all this information into plain English, so pretty much everyone can understand what we're trying to say. We're not just about starting, also about growing and getting the best out of your business. So at any stage of your small business journey, you'll find something for you on biz.gov. Next slide, please. So all our work is run through 3 avenues, as you can see here: content, our business.gov newsletter, and through our tools. So digital tools are built to solve key pain points and form solutions in this case. So digital tools can be anything from a self-assessment tool to essentially a tool that just helps you do your business in everyday life. So our written content is also consistently added to the site. This is constantly updated as we get new information from within government and private sector. And everyone here is a customer of ours, essentially. So we work to make our lives easier, to make your lives easier and increase the likelihood that your businesses will succeed through these 3 avenues. Next slide, please. So now I'll take you through a few examples of our highest performing tools and how they can help you kind of save time and money. The first is the Employment Agreement Builder. So it can be a lengthy process onboarding a new employee, as a lot of you will know. So sometimes this can be a deterrent even when a business owner needs it. So this is the reason behind us building the Employment Agreement Builder. So instead of having to go to a lawyer and overpay them to write a contract, we have actually built a tool that allows you to build this agreement yourself. This will save you loads of time, money, and allow any changes to be made by you. So like, even if you have second thoughts on an amendment to something, you can constantly be updating this for new contracts. Over 268,000 employment contracts have been created using the Employment Agreement Builder since its launch in 2016. And on average, each agreement template has been used for over 5 employees. So yeah, so this is used quite a lot, and each agreement has been used over 5 times. It's a super helpful tool. I would hugely recommend using that. So on to the next one is OneCheck. So choosing a name for your business is obviously a huge decision, and especially when you're starting out. So if you plan to build a brand around this name, you should really check what's available out there in terms of domains, social media accounts, stuff like that. So this can happen pretty easily. So on OneCheck, this essentially is a Google for domain availability, I would say. It gives you access to information like social media handles, a clear explanation of the difference between registered business name, trading name, and trademark, guidance on how to best protect your brand and information and things like that. I would highly recommend using this tool as well in the business planning process. So especially if you're at the start of your process. Obviously, if you're a bit further along, you may have already done these sort of checks, but it always helps to check anyway. And especially when you're, for example, your business might be a few years old, but you're making a new TikTok account, for example, you can look up any sort of name on there and make sure it's available. So that's a handy one as well. Next slide, please. Another huge pain point for small businesses, as you all know, is your compliance obligations. Compliance can be such a confusing process, as you all know, also very time consuming, which is not ideal for a growing business, as time is of the essence. So from this, the Compliance Matters tool was born. And this was essentially, we wanted to centralize obligations and legal obligations for businesses by industry and make it just easier for them to read and to find actually what they need, because there's so many obligations that it's impossible to kind of fish through every single one. So we've tried to make this process easier for you. This is important when you're starting a business and growing. At any stage, really, compliance is necessary and is important, and you don't want to be caught kind of behind the 8 ball trying to catch up on your compliance. So this makes it quite easy. Next slide, please. So the next tool I'll talk about is choosing business structure. So this tool is somewhat self-explanatory. It helps you choose your business structure during your business planning. As an actual, it'll provide a lot of outside information so that you can actually make an informed decision. So there's a lot of different business structures that you can go by. A lot of the most common ones for small businesses would be company, a sole trader, or partnership. And these will be broken down in depth for you to decide what you really want out of your company and how this aligns with your business structure. So choosing the right business structure is one of the most important decisions for you. And looking at your kind of future plans, whether you're at that stage yet, whether you want to grow into an exporter, all these sort of things are factors that should go into your decision making for choosing a business structure. And this tool will just take you through that whole thing, and kind of you'll get to the other side and actually know a bit about business structures and then how to apply that to your business and your future plans, essentially. So next. So the next one is COVID-19 info. So this isn't a tool, but I just wanted to quickly break this down. Currently, during the COVID-19 response, Business.gov was and still is the main channel for getting information out to small businesses. You can go to Business.gov to find out about all government support like wage subsidy, resurgence, the small business cash flow loan scheme, business debt hibernation, and pretty much anything to do with COVID-19 and business. We've got it all there. So we know it can be hard to work out whether you're eligible for support. So we worked out with our colleagues across government to create tools to make it easier for you. So within that COVID-19 section, there's a few different tools to assess whether you are eligible for certain funds and things like that. So that's a really handy one for businesses. I know COVID-19 is starting to fade out, but as we are still in orange, there's still a lot of complications for small businesses. So you can find that information there. Next slide, please. So lastly, I'll talk about the newsletter. So we have a newsletter subscription for small businesses, and this goes out to over 900. This has actually been changed. It's going out to over 900,000 subscribed recipients. And these newsletters feature curated content and articles to help small businesses. For example, a recent one, tips to get you through tax time and money and your mental health. So essentially what we do is we have a dedicated team that go out, we decide what kind of in the small business community, what they want to learn about, what they want to know. And we go out and find these private sector experts and we work with them to create these articles. And these can be a high variation of articles from a wide range of topics. So I'd hugely recommend even just signing up to this and seeing if it's for you, and you might get some good business insights. And it's a lot of it's like raising attention for different things. So it'll show you the latest in kind of small business support across the board, across government and the private sector. So yeah, I'd highly recommend joining that community there. And that's all from me today. I'm happy to take questions. And yeah, the main thing would be from today is just to go check out business.gov, see what you can learn from there, and see what tools you can check out as well as those tools I explained today. And anything you kind of want to learn about small business and either how to grow or different things like that, we just have a bunch of different topics on biz.gov. So yeah, thank you very much for listening today, and cheers.
Kia ora, Mason. Really enjoyed that overview, especially about the employment agreement builder. As you pointed out, it's a great money saver for employers and community organisations alike.
Yeah, for sure.
I like the fact that they have those mandatory clauses that can be inserted, and then the rest is tailored to suit your business requirements. Can an employer actually meet you in person if they have, a business plan that they want to get some advice on?
So business.gov, we operate as a one-to-many service. So we don't actually do one-on-one sort of guidance, but we can point you in the right direction if that's what you're after. And there's a whole system of business advisory that we can point you in the direction to. But yeah, we don't offer one-on-one services, but everything is presented on our website and it's all information for free.
Thank you. Is there support with business planning? So someone's got an idea. Where do they go to next with their idea?
Yeah, so if you have an idea and you're looking for specific business planning, my best advice would be to go to a business advisor. These can be found through the regional business partner network or anywhere really. Or just take a quick Google to find one, and they can actually give you advice on how to get your business from the planning stage to actually starting your business. And also I would recommend before spending that money going on our website, as we have written content that we've worked with experts to build around kind of progressing your business from the planning stage and stuff like that. So yeah, you'll find some information on biz.gov, but then to get that to the next stage, you may want to engage with a business advisor.
Okay, so you don't provide the vetting of the business plan once they've got that to that stage?
So we provide the template. So if you go on our tools and resources, we have business planning templates, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, we don't provide feedback, unfortunately. We're a pretty small team, and yeah, that we're more of a one-to-many service.
And what about financial support from government, when you're in that startup phase? Is there a place where we can look for information on funding?
Yeah, of course. So we have a whole section on business.gov around funding and around the funding you can get as a startup or as a progressing business from the government. We also have a section on Māori business support as well that we're starting to build up. So that will be incoming, and yeah, you can find out, and it'll point you in the right direction of funds such as Callaghan Innovation and such as government funds as well. That'll help you along that route. There's a lot of help out there, and so we're just trying to get that information out to everyone.
Great, and just a couple of questions in the chat as well. Where is the best place to start on the website, Mason?
Yeah, so kind of depending on what you're looking for. If you're a starting business, I'll just recommend literally going to business.gov and making your way down the side menu. So I can bring that up, and that starts with, getting started, and depending on what stage of your business you're at, I would start at getting started, especially if you're at the planning stage, because that takes you through taking your first steps, choosing your business structure, business planning tools and tips and stuff like that. And then and then I would move on to how to grow. But if you're a business that already exists and you're just looking to learn more about, anything about small business, I'd recommend maybe going to our tools and resources first. And that way you can look through our tools in one place and really see which ones you could use to improve your business.
Thank you. And last question, how quickly is your website updated?
Yeah, so as soon as specifically government information like COVID-19, like anything coming down from government, we work that same day to get that live, and especially when it's all been signed off. Changes in the private sector, we rely on our stakeholders within the private sector. We pretty much work with every industry to inform us of changes in legislation, for example, or just in general their content, and then we'll update that as soon as possible. So everything's updated. We have a team constantly updating things. So yeah, it's updated in a pretty timely manner, I would say.
Oh, and we have another question that's come in. Do you offer support after using your tools? For example, if I use OneCheck and need more advice.
Yeah, so every tool, when it ends, it tries to kind of continue that journey for you. So it'll provide you with related content, more information if you're looking for more information and that sort of thing. So when you go through the tools, everything will be tailored to how you've used that tool, and then information, you'll get links to further resources within the content and at the end as well.
Oh, and we've got another one come through, Mason. We're going to let you go soon, but
no worries.
do you have industry-specific information on your website?
Yes, we do for certain industries, like obviously not every industry, but within our content, yeah, there's some industry-specific information, and specifically from a compliance perspective, I would recommend, if you're looking for your industry-specific compliance, I'd recommend going to that Compliance Matters tool, and at the top of the tool, you can select what industry. So that'll give you a good overview of what your compliance is within that industry. If you're looking at just general kind of updates within an industry, we don't necessarily have that, but we do have that within our content.
Thank you, Mason. I think we'll now hand back to our co-host, Angela Caves. Thanks again for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mason. I know you're not feeling the best, so really do appreciate you joining us and offering your advice and support around what Business.gov is doing. So really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. For those of you who come to this conference and then you might go away, and in a few months' time you might be ready to start making steps, but you've forgotten everything, please head over to Connected. So we've got Anne, who is an Employment Liaison Advisor on the West Coast. We've got Joey, who is in Nelson, Tasman region, and James, who is in the Marlborough region. They will be able to be your conduit of support, getting you in touch with or providing advice on where to go to take your next steps. And so yeah, reach out to any of our Employment Liaison Advisors at Connected. Digital Boost is here supporting the business community, offering up a free learning platform if you are looking to take your business to the next level with a digital transformation or having an online presence. The training platform offers around, or actually over 500 video tutorials at the moment. We also do live workshops, and we've got a support team who are sitting waiting to help you with your next steps. So if you are looking to build a website and you've watched some of the how-to videos, but you just need that little bit of extra support, our support team will be able to jump in and help you with that. If you already have an online presence, feel free to log into Digital Boost, sign up to Digital Boost and use Checkable. It's a free diagnostic tool that will provide a digital assessment of how your business is performing, and then it will also provide you some feedback on how to optimize and prioritize where your next step should be to enhance your online presence. That does bring our session to a close. Again, one more big thank you to Mason for joining us, even though he's been unwell, so really appreciate that. Thank you, Mason. And a big thanks to Anne, my co-host. Thank you very much for joining me, Anne, and for your support. And to our wonderful audience who have joined us within the webinar, thank you so much. And thank you to those who have joined us via our live stream this afternoon. We've got our last session of the conference up at 4 o'clock, and that is going to be an in-depth look at the Digital Boost platform. So we'd love to see you in that final session. But other than that, I do wish you a wonderful afternoon, and thanks again.